In the magical realm of Eldoria, where forests whispered secrets and rivers shimmered with enchantment, lived a young kitten named Ember. She was not like other cats, for Ember had a rare and unusual gift. She could communicate with dragons. Ember's village, nestled at the foot of the misty mountains, had always been peaceful. The villagers adored her, though many regarded her gift with awe and curiosity. They had not seen a dragon in years, as the creatures had retreated into the deepest parts of the mountains after the last great war between good dragons, cats, humans, and rogue dragons. The tales of their power were nothing more than bedtime stories, or so the villagers thought. One fateful night, the skies turned dark and the earth trembled. A rogue dragon, its scales as black as coal and eyes burning with fiery hatred, swooped down upon the village. Its roar shook the heavens, and its flames scorched the ground, leaving destruction in its wake. The villagers fled in terror, unsure how to fight such a beast. In the chaos, Ember watched from the shadows, her tiny heart pounding in her chest. She knew the village could not survive another attack. There was only one hope, the last great dragon, Solara, who lived high in the mountains. But Solara had not been seen in decades, and the journey to find him was perilous. Ember took a deep breath and made her decision. Small though she was, she knew that only she could communicate with Solara, and perhaps, just perhaps, convince him to save the village. With nothing but her courage, Ember set off into the night, her paws silent against the ground as she raced toward the misty mountains. The climb was treacherous, with jagged rocks and biting winds, but Ember pressed on. As dawn broke over the peaks, she reached the entrance to Solara's lair, a massive cave with walls shimmering like gold. Stepping inside, Ember's tiny meow echoed in the vast space.
Solara,
she called, her voice trembling.
Great dragon, I seek your help.
For a moment, there was only silence. Then, the ground shook as a towering figure emerged from the shadows. Solara, a magnificent dragon with gleaming golden scales and eyes that glowed like embers, unfurled his wings.
Who dares disturb my rest?
Solara's voice rumbled like thunder. Ember stood her ground, though her paws trembled.
I am Ember, a kitten from the village below. A rogue dragon has attacked us, and we cannot defend ourselves. You are our only hope.
Solara lowered his great head, peering at the small creature before him.
Why should I care about your village? I owe nothing to your kind.
Ember swallowed her fear.
Because once, dragons and cats lived in harmony. My ancestors fought alongside yours. I may be small, but I carry a hero's spirit within me. I believe in peace, and I believe you do too.
The dragon's eyes flickered with something, perhaps surprise, perhaps amusement.
You are brave, little one, but bravery alone does not win battles.
I know, but sometimes it takes the smallest of us to remind the greatest of what they are truly capable of. You are not like the rogue dragon. You protect, you guard, and you bring balance. That is what makes you great.
For a long moment, Solara stared at Ember, the silence heavy with anticipation. Then, with a deep sigh, the great dragon nodded.
Very well, Ember. I shall give you the power to help your village. But know this, the power I give you will only work for someone who truly has a hero's heart.
With that, Solara breathes his fire upon Ember. He tells her that the power he has given her is an ancient one that will allow her to cast powerful spells, command and banish powerful beings, and protect people. He also told her to come back after saving her village to return the power back to him.
Once again, remember that the power I give to you will only work for someone with a hero's heart.
After the encounter, Ember returned back to her village.
Rogue dragon, stop your destruction this instant.
Ember shouted.
Who dares to command me?
I am Ember the kitten, and I am the one that shall be your downfall.
The rogue dragon laughed at Ember. Ember raised her paw and commanded the rogue dragon to shrink and lose his ability to breathe fire, but nothing happened. Hearing this, the rogue dragon got angry and started pursuing Ember. Ember ran away and hid under cover.
Little Ember, where are you? I'm sorry if I scared you. I just want to meet you for a little chat.
As Ember was hiding, she wondered why the power Solara gave her was not working. She was still deep in thoughts when suddenly, she sees two children, a boy and a girl, on the street, looking scared and searching for something. The boy came back to the village because his sister dropped her toy as they fled the village when the rogue dragon started his attack. Ember called out to them, but they didn't hear her. The rogue dragon spotted the children and turned to them. Ember, without hesitation, sprinted toward them, not caring what would happen to her. As Ember stood in between the children and the rogue dragon, she told the children to run while she distracts the rogue dragon. Suddenly, she fell into a trance. In the trance, Ember sees Solara, and he tells her that she truly does possess a hero's heart, and therefore is worthy of the power. Suddenly, Ember feels a sudden outburst of power within her. The power and the full knowledge of how to use it was bestowed upon her. The rogue dragon was stunned to see Ember display such immense power. So he tries to attack her. Ember uses a spell to create a force field around her to protect her from the attacks of the rogue dragon. She summons herself an army of warrior cats and spirit warriors to help her in this fierce battle.
Is that the best you can do?
I'm just getting started. You haven't seen anything yet.
The battle was a fierce and intense one. Ember used multiple spells such as a freezing spell, time stoppage, teleportation, energy beams, wind, and even fire. The rogue dragon got weaker and weaker with every spell he had to fight off. Finally, Ember shrunk the rogue dragon and trapped him inside a magical sphere. She opened a portal to another realm and said this as she took the dragon inside the magical sphere to the portal.
Rogue dragon, your reign of terror ends now. By the ancient bond between dragons and my ancestors, I banish you to the Shadow Realm, where your flames will flicker no more. Never again shall you bring destruction to the innocent if you dare cross back into this realm. You will be stripped of all your power, forced to serve as protector to those you once sought to destroy.
Once Ember banished the dragon, she used a spell to quench all the fire that was left. When the villagers saw that the rogue dragon had been defeated, they came back one by one and they all cheered for Ember and thanked her for what she did. As they were celebrating, Ember remembered that Solara told her to return the power back to him when she was done saving her village. And so she left on a journey back to Solara's cave in the mountains. As she went into the forest, she saw Solara there and he told her,
Well done, Ember. I was watching you from the forest, and I have seen today that you truly have a hero's heart. And so, I have decided within me to let you keep this power. Ember, I hope you will not fail me. Always use this power for good and never for evil. I will be watching you. Do not disappoint me.
Solara, I promise I will never disappoint you. Thank you for honoring me with this power.
After this, Ember returned back to the village. And from that day on, Ember was known as the bravest kitten in Eldoria. She went on so many adventures and always used her powers for good. She became the one who had reminded the greatest of dragons that even the smallest of creatures can hold the greatest power within, a heart full of courage and the will to bring peace. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share the video.